guys, welcome to Oninye's Beauty School Makeup 101. Class is in session and today we are talking brushes, makeup brushes. And because you guys are special to me, I washed my brushes just for this video. I usually don't wash them that often. Joking. But yeah, these are all of the brushes that I own, and as you can see, it's not a lot. They are not a lot. I don't think that they are, and I will be taking you guys through what you need as a beginner to do your makeup. If you are doing makeup for only yourself, personal use, you don't have any clients, you're not a beauty guru, not a content creator, you probably don't even need this much, unless you're somebody that don't like cleaning your brushes often, so you need to buy like multiples of the same brush to do the same thing so that you don't have to wash your brushes all the time. But if you can wash your brush all the time, do makeup for only yourself, you probably don't need all of this. You just need a brush set that has the key brushes that you need to do your everyday glam whatever sort of makeup for yourself, and I'm going to be talking through those brushes in this video. I'm starting this beginner friendly series on my channel so that we go back to the basics of makeup application, of beauty, of everything. I noticed that there are a lot of things happening now, and if you are just a beginner who is coming up in the makeup scene, it can get really confusing with the products that are launching, a lot of which are not even necessary. So you find that if you are not a content creator, if you're not a beauty guru, if you're not a makeup artist, there is no need to be buying everything that is launched and released in the market. You just need the basics. So we are going back to the basics with this series that I'm going to do here on my channel, and we are starting off today with brushes. Let's go. So we are going to talk through the brushes based on how you would normally apply your makeup. Okay, so your base, your eye, and then the lips, right? Yeah, that's really it. So first things first, foundation application. Or technically, you start your base with your primer, but your fingers are more than enough to do that. I apply my primer with my fingers, then I go in with my foundation. And I have three options when it comes to foundation brushes. I have this one that has this flat end. This is what this one looks like. It has like a flat top that is stained with foundation that I refuse to wash off, but ignore that. But it's flat, but it's also very fluffy. So this is one option that you can use. You can also decide to use a brush that looks like this. This is a flat brush. I don't need to do this. Yeah, so this is a flat brush that you can also use for foundation. This you can also use to apply your primer if you don't want to use your fingers. Your primer, your skincare, this brush will do for that. And the last option that I have in my kit is this one. This one has like a more tapered end compared to the first one that I showed you. Can you see the difference? Yeah. Those are the three brushes, and if you are wondering which option you should go for, you can choose to use any one. Honestly, this one I find has like a more skin-like application to it. So say for instance I want to apply a foundation that is lightweight or a skin tint, I'll probably use this, or my fingers. Honestly, if I'm applying a skin tint, I'll probably use my fingers. But for light foundations, skin tints, I like to use this one. Or if I'm going for a more natural finish, I tend to use this for that. It gives like a more skin-like natural finish with application. Then for these two, I honestly think that they apply the same. Like when it comes to the finish of the application, I think that they apply the same, identical. I don't see any difference with applying with a flat top brush like this or a tapered one like this. I find that the both of them apply the same way. You can use any of these based on what you prefer. Honestly, I would not say you should pick one over the other. Whatever comes with the set that you buy works. I think this brush I've had for a very long time. It's been more than 7 years, and as you can see, it's surviving really nicely. It's from Real Techniques. This one is from Vicabel. This one is a Nigerian brand. I got the set of the brush, so a lot of the brushes that you would see in this video are Vicabel brushes because they come with this set. I don't think I should be mentioning the names of this thing because none of them sponsored me, so but again, I've said it. But yeah, these are the 3 options that I have in my kit. Whichever one you can find, whichever one is within your budget is fine. Honestly, there's no need to get the 3 of them. I just remembered there's one other option, beauty blenders. That's another option for foundation application, concealer as well. In fact, base application, you can use it. Beauty blender is like a 1 in 5 products. I didn't bring it here just because I wanted to speak about brushes. If you're a beginner, if you get a brush set, you probably don't need a beauty blender, but if you want one, you can get one. A beauty blender you can use to blend your foundation, your concealer, your blush, your contour. It's quite multifunctional. So if you want one tool that can do a lot of function, go with a beauty blender. That's the only recommendation that I would make. But for brushes, you can buy whichever shape, whichever size, whichever brand you want. Beauty blender is just like a multifunctional product that you can buy. Just one beauty blender to use to do multiple things. That makes sense, right? It does. Foundation out of the way, we move on to concealer, and to do that I usually use a brush like this to apply my concealer. So this is sort of like a smaller version of the tapered foundation brush that I showed you guys earlier, but this is my concealer brush and it's the only one I have. When I'm not using this to blend my concealer, I'm using a beauty blender. So this is a concealer brush. I don't think there's anything else to say for that. One thing that I would like to mention is that if you have mastered makeup properly and you have the right techniques, you can actually use some of these brushes to do multiple things. Like I said, because I know how to do my makeup properly, this brush I can use to do several different things. I can use it for my lid, I can use it to blend blush, I can use it to do what else, highlighter. There are a lot of things I can do with this brush just because I know how to do my makeup properly. But just for the sake of this video, this is what a concealer brush should look like. That's what you need for your kids. For contour, I have 2 options. Ideally, you want your contour brush to be tapered, just like this one is. As you can see, this end is short and this one is a bit longer, and it's just because of the way you blend your contour. You want it to, you know, go in the shape of your cheekbone. So most contour brushes are usually angled like this, but not all of them are. Like this one that I have is not necessarily angled. This one has sort of like a tapered end. It's fuller in the center and then it curves at the end, but this works perfectly as well. I think this is actually my favorite contour brush. I love this and I've had it for a very, very long time. Again, whatever your kit comes in, you can work with that. I'm showing you all of these options so that you know what to look for in the kit that you want. A lot of brush sets come with like different shapes, sizes, color, angle of brushes. So if you know what you are looking for, you will be able to tell a kit that is complete or that has your preferred brush style for the makeup that you want. Okay, now to blush, and I actually have 3 blush brushes in my kit. I don't know why I have this much, honestly, because blush is not something that you need multiple brushes for, but these are the 3 that I have. Interestingly, they have like 3 different sizes, so I have small, medium and large. This is what they look like, and as you can see, the shape of a blush brush is such that it's tapered to the top and it's really very, very fluffy because of the way that you're supposed to apply your blush. So blush is not something that you staple in like a foundation. It's not, you don't apply your blush like you would a foundation. It's something that you apply very lightly to sort of give color to your cheeks. So blush brushes are round and very, very fluffy. The last set of brushes that you need for your base are powder brushes, and I have 4. here, and I'm going to explain. These two I use for the same thing, and this one I use for the same thing. This one I use to apply finishing powder, so to set my entire face before I go in with a setting spray. This is the brush that I use. As you can see, they are round like the blush brush that I showed you, the big one, and very, very fluffy. Again, to apply finishing powder, you need something that is very, very fluffy, that will just, you know, go on top of the makeup that you applied, so that it's not sort of disrupting the base that you created. It just goes on top of that very, very seamlessly. You need something that is very, very fluffy and full. Your finishing powder brush needs to be very, very full, just like this. These ones I use to set my concealer. I used to apply my setting powder for my concealer. That's really what I use this for. When I used to apply highlighter, or when, let me say, because I don't apply highlighter as much as I used to, but when I do, I also use these brushes as well, but they are mostly for setting my concealer. And as you can see, they are fluffy, round, but they are kind of flat. They don't have the bulkiness and roundness that the blush or powder brush have. They are flat. They are flatter than that because they just go in perfectly under the eyes, which is why I like to use them as setting brushes. That covers all of the brushes that you need for your base. And in case you've forgotten, let's recap. You need a foundation brush, a concealer brush, a contour brush, something to blend in your blushes, powder brushes, and the bonus, a beauty blender. Now to eyeshadow brushes. As you can see, I have a lot of this. I have quite a number of eyeshadow brushes, and a lot of them are duplicates, just because when it comes to eyeshadow, you're dealing with colors, so I don't like to mix and match colors, so I like to have a lot of options. Again, this is one of those things that you have to use your discretion for, to know what you need, how many you need. So let's start with the brows. This is my best combination when it comes to brows. A spoolie, I have two here, an angled brush. This is my best angled brush, and something to blend out your concealer after you define your brows. So I have different options for my angled brush, just depending on whichever one I reach, I go in for that, and I use that to, you know, clean the brow and then blend out with a fluffy brush like this. Again, you can use that brush that I showed you for concealer to sort of blend your brow if you know what you are doing. The brush is bigger, it would take a lot of real estate, but it will be faster, and it will sort of cover your lid, because usually we bring down the concealer to use as primer for eyeshadow. So that's my brow combination. Now to eyeshadow application. On the basic level, eyeshadow application involves 3 steps: your transition color, your crease color, your lid color. 3 things: simple, clean, short. That's what every beginner needs to know when it comes to eyeshadow application. Those 3 steps: transition, crease, lid color. 3 things. So for your transition color, it's usually the color that is closest to your skin and that you would use to blend out the other colors that you apply on your lid. I don't know why I keep pointing here. I'm not applying anything, but it's just reflex. Ignore me if it's disturbing you. Sorry about that. And for your transition shade, you want to use a very, very fluffy tapered brush. You want to use a brush that looks like this. As you can see, it's tapered to the tip, and then on this end is a bit longer and is very, very fluffy. You want to use a very, very fluffy brush, because with your transition color you use very light strokes, and transition colors are not usually color dense. Like, you're not looking for pigmentation with your transition color, so you don't want to use a brush that will pack color to that area. So a tapered brush like this would work. I also have a few other options that are not tapered but that are also very fluffy that I can use to apply my transition shade. Something that looks like this. As you can see, this one is a bit flat, but it can still work because I know what I'm doing. So to apply your transition shade, use a very fluffy brush. Then after you've applied your transition shade, you want to go in with your crease color. The shade you use for your crease is usually darker, is deeper. We use it to create depth in the eye area, just like your outer eye area. Use it to create, you know, some sort of depth. So you want it to be dense in color. You want to go in with actual color to create that depth that you are looking for. And to do that, I usually use a brush that looks like this. This is not very fluffy. This is really dense. As you can see, it's not a very fluffy brush. It's very dense, and this packs color to my crease the way that I like it. But after I go in with this brush, I go back with my transition shade and kind of blend that out. I know that this might be a bit confusing, but in this series we'll get to do like beginner friendly eyeshadow tutorial, so you guys will understand better what I mean. I wanted to start with brushes for this series because I know that other things we can do with the brushes. I think brushes are like the best way to start the series, but don't worry, we'll go through the actual usage of these brushes in the upcoming videos. But yeah, just take note that you need something dense to apply your crease color. So if you are buying a brush set, you know what to look out for. Then for your lid, you need flat brushes like this. They come in different shapes and sizes, like you can see, just because we are all unique when it comes to the composition of our eyes. Some people have a lot of real estate on their eyes, some people do not. Some people have oval shapes, some people have round. So we are all created differently. We all look different, we have different features, so different brushes work. But you need a flat brush to apply your lid color. This you use to pack color to your lid. So you just take up color and then slap it flat on your lid, and it's flat because of the application that you need it for. You don't need anything that is fluffy to apply your lid color unless you don't want pigment on your lid. But if you do want pigment, flat brushes are the best way to pack color to your lid so that the color is actually visible. It's pigmented, it's true to color. Some people even wet their brushes before they apply their lid color so that the color pops, you know. Yeah, I think we've gone through all of the brushes that we need. If I missed anything, I don't think I did though, because I've emptied my brush set and gone through all of the brushes that I have. The only one that I skipped are eyeliner brushes that I don't think anybody needs. So they are tiny like this that you can use to apply your eyeliner. Usually makeup artists probably need this because they don't want to be using the same liner lids to apply on all of their clients probably, so they have options to use tools that like this that they can clean and reuse. But you really don't need to buy one of these. If you are doing makeup on yourself, you can just use the applicator that comes with your liquid eyeliner. That's it, unless you are using gel. If you are using gel, this would not even be the best option. It would be best to go in with a flat, you know, the flat brush that I showed you. Let me bring it again. It would be best to use a flat brush like this to apply your gel as opposed to using that one that I showed you. So yeah, I think that we've gone through all of the brushes. Let me know in the comments if there are any areas of makeup that you are struggling with, so that I can add this to this series if I don't already have it planned. So let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching, and if you're looking forward to the next video on the series, also give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section. This is the time for you to subscribe to this channel if you are not yet subscribed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.